All right, hello. So my name is Doug Vita. I'm an assistant professor at Cleveland State University in the Health Science and Human Performance Department. Currently working with Cionic on a trial that utilizes the neural sleeve to help out individuals with MS and look at a comparison between times of them using the sleeve at home versus times where they just add walking into their daily lives without the sleeve. And so that's the primary overview of the trial. So far, we've had 6 participants, and we're looking forward to recruiting our next wave.
And Doug, maybe you could talk a little bit about like what are the requirements or what is involved if someone wants to enroll in this trial with the neural sleeve.
Sure, of course. So our primary requirements are obviously a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis. We also need to have participants who are able and willing to walk with or without an assistive device up to 15 minutes of added walking 5 days a week during the trial. Um, and one thing that we note is that so the neural sleeve itself will replace any ankle foot orthosis that the individual wears. So they need to be comfortable with if they're an active AFO user, they need to be comfortable with not using their AFO during the time that they're using the neural sleeve. So those are those primary requirements there. And we also want to make sure that individuals haven't had a relapse in the previous 30 days and changes of any medications. And then the other big thing is are just requirements that are related to utilizing the device itself. So we make sure that people have sensitivity in their lower limb so that we can ensure that the device level is set at a level that's comfortable for them for use. We make sure that they don't have any existing blood flow issues in the lower limb. And then we also ask that they don't have any orthopedic, like prior orthopedic injuries that would limit their walking, kind of in addition to the limitations they're facing because of MS.
So this could be a great opportunity for someone living with MS, living in the Cleveland or like greater Ohio area,
Mhm.
to come try this neural sleeve to help improve their mobility and just like their ability for walking. But what kinds of findings are you looking to get out, or like what are your metrics and what are you trying to get out of this study?
Yeah, exactly. So first with that, I try to I tell all our participants it's basically like a free trial with the sleeve because every participant who takes part in the study has at least one period where they get to wear the sleeve for 6 weeks at home and really kind of explore the functionality of it. In terms of
6 weeks is
findings,
kind of a lot of time to like be able to get used to it and
right, yeah, because usually what I tell folks is that the first week or two, we are usually trying to make sure that the settings that we use for the sleeve in the lab are going to work well for them at home.
hmm.
A lot of people kind of like to ease into the device use because it's a new experience. So a lot of my participants will kind of use it around the house in the early stage and then explore more using it in the community and everything. So that 6 week period gives them an ample opportunity to be able to kind of look at the full range of how they could integrate the neural sleeve into their daily life. So.
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, so it involves 6 weeks wearing the sleeve, and then you said it's 6 weeks without.
Yeah, so individuals are randomized into which order they do it, but they come to our lab at Cleveland State for an initial assessment of their function. That includes an analysis of their current walking. It also includes an analysis of how they walk with the neural sleeve just in one trial with it. And we look at some other measures like leg strength. We look at range of motion of the leg joints. And we do some qualitative surveys as well in terms of things like fall risk and quality of life. After that first visit, they get randomized into one of the two 6 week periods. So some folks might start where they're doing 6 weeks without the sleeve first. During that time, we ask them that while they are at home, they add 15 minutes of walking per day for up to 5 days or for at least 5 days a week. Um, and that walking can be, it's just needed to be above and beyond what they would normally do in their daily life. And they don't have to do it as a 15-minute chunk. They can do it, they can split it up. Just 15 minutes of extra walking.
And
And
if
then
they normally wear, like, say, an AFO or some sort of orthosis, can they wear that during
yeah,
this period?
yes, they can still, so it's basically asking them to do 6 weeks of their normal daily regimen in terms of um, uh, whatever they're already currently doing exercise wise and assisted device wise, plus adding those 15 minutes of extra walking in
Hmm.
on those days. And then the other group would start with the neural sleeve. And so they would be going home and they would do it. We would be asking them to walk at least 15 minutes or more a day um, using the neural sleeve during that time.
And so sorry, and then to get to the other part of the question, what kinds of results are you hoping to find from the study, or like what kinds of, yeah, things you're
Right.
gonna.
Yeah. So our primary outcomes are mainly around gait function. So in the lab, we have a pressure sensitive walkway that allows us to take really intricate measures of an individual's walking. Another part of the study is as well is that we will provide those to individuals, like their gait analysis. Will provide that data to individuals if they'd like to have it. I've had a couple participants who said, oh, I'd love to show this to my neurologist and be able to have it so we can export that for them. And so gait is the primary outcome that we're looking at here. In MS, it's one of the leading symptoms of that individuals are trying to manage. So we're looking predominantly at gait speed using the neural sleeve versus when they're not. And then we're also looking at other measures in terms of essentially how the foot and the lower leg are moving as they're walking. So looking at how much they're able to dorsiflex and plantar flex their ankle, what kind of knee flexion and knee extension they're able to get, and that's all kind of facilitated by the functional electrical stimulation of the neural sleeve. So we compare that when they're walking with it and when they're walking without it.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned you have to be kind of in the Cleveland area or able to get to the Cleveland area. So what are the requirements for participants to come in person during this study?
Yeah, so we do have 3 in-person visits throughout the study. So the first visit, as I said, is that initial kind of characterization visit. We look at everybody's baseline performance, and then they get randomized into either 6 weeks with or without the sleeve. After that 6 week period, they'll come back in for their midpoint assessment. And then after that midpoint assessment, they'll do the opposite condition. So if they started with the sleeve, they'll do 6 weeks without. If they started without, they'll do 6 weeks with the sleeve, and then they'll come back in for the final assessment. And those assessments generally range from an hour and a half to 2 hours of time in the lab. And it just depends kind of on a few things, mainly how many breaks that people want to take. We offer breaks in between all the testing that we do so that people aren't feeling too fatigued or anything along those lines. So yeah, it's that hour and a half to 2 hours per visit. Individuals also get paid $50 per visit, and we cover the cost of parking at the university. They would be responsible for kind of their travel
Their
costs to and
transportation.
from. Mhm.
Okay, great. Well, this is all great information. Is there anything else that you want to share about the study or maybe past ones or anything at all?
Yeah, so I would share that, we're currently actively recruiting the second wave of this study. We had participants who completed the first wave. It is kind of a pilot trial in terms of the overall sample size, but with our first wave of participants, the results have been encouraging in terms of a few things. One, people generally liked the neural sleeve and found that it fit into their lifestyle well. It's a great solution because it's pretty non-intrusive. You can wear it under pants. You can put it on for the day and not need to kind of keep removing it and putting it back on. I had an individual who was still working her full-time job, and so she always told me, she would put it on in the morning, and when she was walking around the house getting ready for work, she would use it. And then when she would get to work, she just loved that she could turn it on from her phone or from the button on the sleeve to be able to get up and walk around her office or go run an errand that she needed to run. And then if she was sitting at her desk, she would just pause it, and so she was able to get through full work days and everything with her battery life. So many people have kind of said that that's one of their favorite aspects of it. And then compared to other FES devices that are available for individuals with MS, the neural sleeve offers a much kind of broader tuning to individual needs. So a lot of individuals with MS have drop foot, and so we can specifically target that with one of the sensor arrays on the neural sleeve. But which is what other devices try to do, but the added benefit is that the neural sleeve also targets other muscle groups on the leg. So if somebody has knee instability or knee weakness and needs a little bit extra boost in terms of helping support their balance during walking and that sort of thing, we can generally find a tuning kind of set up for all those muscle groups that will effectively help them out for all their kind of walking that they do.
It's funny you bring that up because I wear the neural sleeve myself. I don't know if I told you this, Doug.
Okay.
I'm a stroke survivor.
Hmm.
And I just met with my own mobility specialist to help adjust my sleeve for knee instability because I was having like some hyperextension
Hmm.
and just yeah, I was having issues with the knee stability. And so they were able to adjust it for me, change the timing of like when the stimulation fires such that it can target that more effectively. So I think
Yeah.
that's a good thing to note for those who are interested in participating in this trial and trying the neural sleeve is that one, it's very easy to fit into your daily life. Like you mentioned, Doug, and for
Mhm.
myself too, as someone who wears the neural sleeve, I can wear it all day and, I sit down at my computer to take meetings or whatever. I can take out the control unit. I can even plug it in and charge it while I'm sitting there with the neural sleeve still
Yeah.
on my body, and then just simply pop it back in when it's time to get up and go for a walk or do something. So it does fit in quite easily and lasts a long time. And yeah, there's just lots of capabilities. I like using it to be able to go up and down stairs. It's helpful. There's exercises. It's not just the gait mode. So you can target, specific exercises to strengthen and facilitate the muscle re-education as well, which is a good thing to note.
Yeah, exactly. And so, and I like to tell my participants, so they get a kind of what I'd say like a custom tuning by me in the lab during that initial visit, and an overview of the app. But then they also still have support from the Cionic staff while they're at home with it, and they can always reach out to me while they're at home with it as
Hmm.
well. And so we've had participants in the past who say, hey, I think I'm kind of getting used to it, and maybe I want a little bit more stimulation here, or I'm getting a little tired on my longer walks. So, how do I adapt for that? And we can
Hmm.
really help them kind of learn the device. And a lot of people just kind of take it over on their own. But the ones that don't, we kind of support them throughout that whole time period that they're at home using the device because we want them to have a good experience and the best kind of possible outcomes that we can get from it as we can kind of offer. So,
Awesome. That's great. Thank
mhm.
you for sharing all of this about this trial.
Yeah.
Doug, I'm wondering for those who are interested, how can they get in touch or how can they get more information?
Yeah, so they can they can reach out directly to me. I don't know the best way. I mean, my email is d.a.wajda@csuohio.edu. So that's one way to reach out to me. The trial is also listed on clinicaltrials.gov, so they could find the trial there. And then they could also express their interest through the Psionic website for individuals that are looking to partake in clinical trials. There's a spot on the website for that where they can submit their information. And then the Psionic research team puts those individuals in touch with me directly. So there's lots of ways that they can reach out that way.
Sounds good. So worst case, if you didn't catch Doug's email, you can go to the Psionic website and you can submit through the clinical trial interest there. And like he said, our research team will connect you with Doug and get you set up that way.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. This is a productive conversation. Thank you, Doug. And I'll be sure to get this out to everyone.
All right. Thank you.